This is Lawrence D. Adams, and today this is part 2, Wounds That Men Haven't Healed From. If you listen to part 1, I cover one sector of it that's dealing with the relationship that men have mentally with women and how they have not dealt with the issues they have with their mothers, girlfriends, bad relationships with women. This sector, I'm going to talk about several things and maybe just go into some processes and tools that you can use so that you can become completely healed. So this one we're going to talking about a little bit is Daddy, I Miss You. That's right. Daddy, I miss you. We may go into the other sector of using the woman as a Bandaid. But a lot of times, a lot of hurt that a lot of men have is because of the lack of their father not being there. That's right, the lack of their father not being there. So what do I mean by that? There is a missing element when the father is not in the man's life. See, the father passes on the torch of manliness, character to the young boy. Not only does he pass it on by what he says, but by his actions and his interactions with a woman. And when those things are lacking, the man or the young man is unable to function or don't know how to effectively function or understand the female's nature. Now, the father could be in the household, which is very well true. But he can also be in the household and not be present in the son's life. On some level, every man needs the validation of his father. Every man needs the validation of his father to say, well done, this is my son. Every man needs the validation of his father. Now, if his father is subservient to his mother, that can create a rift between the father and the son because he never learns how to really interact or be a leader in the household. So this really goes a little bit deeper that I really want to go into. But Daddy, I miss you. So you really need to deal with the issues that you had with your father because he never taught you or understood female nature. Now, if you have a father who did teach you female nature, you're one step ahead and you really can go to the next level. So I'm not going to go too far into that because that can go even deeper with Daddy, I miss you. I want to cover another part of this sector. It's that what we talked about yesterday. Men using women as Band-Aids instead of viewing her as your healer. See, there's different types of women that a man come across. But many times men have not ran across or don't recognize a woman that's a healer. See, a woman that is a Band-Aid looks good because it covers the wound while the wound is trying to heal. Versus a woman that is a healer is a woman who comes in and she applies the right amount of medicine to the wound so that you can be healed. See, a lot of men have not experienced the true essence of a woman's healing powers. That's right, a woman's true healing powers. And the reason why is because a lot of women are hurt. But once you come across a healer, she does surgery to the parts of your masculinity that may have been damaged in childhood. She knows how to touch you in such a way that it restores parts of your soul. She's not there just to cover up the wound. She actually, with her words, with her action, in her femininity, comes in and actually brings healing to the wound. So you got to recognize when the woman is there to bring healing to the wound. So what we do is we pass up that woman because she doesn't look like we think she should look. Or we're looking next, how can I have sex with her? Now, mind you, there are times when you do have sex with her. But that's not the purpose, really, why she's there. She's there to bring healing to you. So you got to realize that you don't want to use women as Band-Aids just to cover the wound, instead of recognizing that women can be healing to you. Now that we accepted that, let's move on to some tools and some solutions. So the first tool is, as we stated yesterday, you really have to admit that you are hurting. You have to admit that I have some issues with women, my interaction with my mother, women in the past. I have some interactions, I have some issues with my father and his interactions, why he was simping, why he didn't stand up and be a man. We have to deal with all those issues. And so what men don't do is they do not come to the place where they have to admit that these are issues that they're dealing with. So once you're brutally honest, that's right, just completely unadulterated, honest with yourself, these things are bothering me. You may need to go in the mirror and just look for a minute and say, these things are really bothering me. Because what men do, we tend to bury those things inside of us while they're strangling us at the same time. Let me repeat that. We bury those things deep inside of us while they are strangling us at the same time. So we're trying to gasp for air and wondering why we cannot breathe. Hence the reason why men tend to die earlier than women, because we never face the things that are bothering us. So you got to find a place where you can admit and be brutally honest about what's bothering you. Next, you need to look in the mirror and really look at who you really are. Let's go to the next one, because that's what I'm going to go a little faster. The next thing you need to do, you need to write it out. What I share with people to do in the past, and what I do also, is to sit down and write down on a piece of paper or a journal, uneditedly, with no edits, how you really feel. Most men are afraid of what they feel on the inside. So you can't deal with something if you're afraid to approach it. See, men are saying we got to be logical. I'm completely for that, because we are logical beings. But we also have feelings that we don't know how to process. And one of the best ways you can process that is to write it out. I mean, let it rip, how you really feel, what you thought. You got to let those things out. Next, you may need to find a group of men that you can trust, that can keep accountable or keep you accountable, where you can express those feelings without feeling judged. Let me go a little faster. The other thing you must do is you first have to forgive yourself. See, there's no need to forgive your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, the girlfriend, the wife, whoever else, if you have not first forgiven yourself. You must forgive yourself for everything that took place in your life. See, that's called accountability. It's easy to blame the father, the mother, the sister, the brother, the girlfriend, all this, why I'm taking the blue pill, why I'm not red pill, why I'm enraged, if you have not forgiven yourself. See, your ability to forgive yourself opens the door for you to forgive others. That is the reason why it's hard for you to forgive others, because you have a hard time forgiving yourself. Let's move on a little to the next thing. Once you have forgiven yourself, of course, you go to the next step, is forgiving everything that took place in your life. See, a lot of men have not debriefed mentally, spiritually, from the trauma and situations in their lives. They have not debriefed. Anytime a man or a soldier comes from a mission of war, they have a debriefing so they can go back maybe into civilian life or even back to regular duty. They must debrief. That means they must process everything that took place when they were in the place of war. So you need to debrief. This goes back to 1 or 2, or when you have to write down debriefing. You must debrief from the trauma, the things that are going on. Let's go to the next process. Once you have forgiven others, you really need to let it go. That's right. You need to let it go. Because what you're doing is you're walking around with weights, 100-pound weights on you, on your soul, that's wearing you down. You're going through life with a heavy heart and don't even know it. You have to let all this stuff go so that you can breathe. Now, I do advocate that men seek out professional help in these arenas. I am no ways a therapist, nor do I claim to be. But you do, if you need to seek out professional help. But you need to face the reality that you're in. Stop living in this fairy tale that you need help. I read the comments from yesterday, and it was a first step for a lot of men for finally taking the step to breathe. I still have issues with women. I have issues, you may not admit it, with your father. You need to deal with that. How do I debrief from all of this? See, the goal is for you to be healthy in your relationship first with yourself and with all others. First with yourself and with all others. Men, the goal here is for you to have a healthy relationship with women. Then, see, once these weights, hurts, and disappointments are released from you, I'm going to say this again because it was highlighted yesterday, you begin to attract a different type of woman. You will begin to attract a different type of woman. See, it's easy to say the woman is that, the woman is this, the woman is that. When you are secretly inside of you, attracting her to you to mirror the hurt that's inside of you. Well, let me stop. I've gone past my designated time. But I want you men to go back and comment. Not only comment, I need you to apply, put to action what's been shared in here. Now, this is not something that I'm just coming off the top of my head. This is something that I process through myself. I write down how I exactly feel about a situation. Unedited. That means you write down until you feel everything that you're feeling. Most men are afraid to touch their feelings. That does not mean that you are now in your, I don't want you to get this thing, oh, I'm much and get in touch with my feelings. No. What I'm saying, you're afraid to face how you really feel about a situation. I want you to be logical and be a man in everything that you do. But I'm saying this because you're carrying around things that you need to let go. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Leave a comment, like, and I'm out.